What's up guys, welcome back to another tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to create smooth movements using the easing in and out technique. So maybe you've tried something like a punch or a kick and it just looks like this. We don't want that because that looks awful. So let's make something that looks really good using these smooth animation tips. So yeah, let's get into it. First of all, you're going to need something to animate with. You can do this with one minifigure or two minifigures or whatever. But we're going to use two because I'm going to actually have this guy punching this guy. So yeah, now that we've got our minifigures, we can get into it. Now that you've got your minifigures, we can start animating. So I want to do a simple punch. But if we want to make this smooth, we're going to have to do a little bit of a wind up. So the minifigure is not just going to lurch his arm forward and knock the other minifigure down. He has to build up some momentum, and the way he does that is moving his arm back to get a good wind up to actually put some force into his punch. So we're going to start with just a picture of in a neutral state, and you want to keep them enough apart that they're not touching each other, but close enough that he can actually reach him with his arm. And we're going to move him a stud forward just to give the impression that he was carried by momentum. So first, we're going to take a tiny picture of just his arm moving back just a little bit. Another picture with just a little bit more movement. And then we're going to take a big picture with a big movement, and then one or two smaller movements. And I like to combine the motion of my minifigure moving backwards with his arm. So let's see how that looks. It's very smooth. And also what I like to do is, after they wind up, just drop the arm down just a tiny bit to just give it a little bit of a wobbly effect, like it's not robotic and static. So it looks a bit more realistic like that. And then when he actually punches, we're going to just do a tiny movement like that, and then we're going to do a big movement. We're going to move him forward a stud to actually be able to reach this guy in the pink shirt. Like so. Now that we've got the punch part done, we can move on to the minifigure falling over to the ground and him recovering from punching. So we took the frame of him hitting his chest. Let's delete this excess frame. And now let's move him a little bit more just to give a feeling of easing in and out, because that is what makes smooth animation. You don't want tiny frames all the time. You need some big frames to get the smooth effect. So we're gonna have him knocked back a bit, like so. You can see he lurches his arms forward and his legs forward as he falls, and we want to make sure to focus on the guy who actually punched. Make sure we don't leave him out. And kind of making this up as I go along, but we'll have him do a little bit, come up a little bit, and now he is on the ground, and we can just continue that. let's do a little bit more recovery from coming up. And there you go, you can see we have a completed punch animation. We can do a little bit more, just a bit more frames there. So the main thing is to remember that you want a couple of really small frames, and then one big frame, and then a couple of other small ones at the end, and that's how you achieve easing in and out. And that's one of the keys to smooth animation. And so, just to make this a little bit more interesting, we can have him return to a neutral pose. And it really is trial and error. You're not going to get it right every time, but if you follow these principles, usually everything comes out looking pretty good. You can also increase the frame rate to make it look smoother. But I like this right now. But let's see what it looks like at 15 FPS. But yeah, you can see looks really good, I think. So yeah, if you apply the easing in and out to your animations, they'll look smooth. And again, I really like the just kind of a little bit of recovery. Like if he moves back to a neutral pose, he might lean forward a little bit again, and that just gives it an added sense of realism. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully this helps out with your animations, and yeah, let me know if you want to see more tutorials like this. So yeah, I'll see you guys later.